Greetings and welcome to my Pokemon Go vlog for October 7th. We are nearing the 90-day mark in Pokemon Go. The end of last week, you saw my nest report for the Eola Community Center and Wabanzi Lake. That was a Bulbasaur nest. Notice that I used the past tense of was because there was another nest migration on October 5th, only 9 days after the previous one. Caught a lot of people by surprise. I kind of like it because it does give people the opportunity to catch things that they didn't have the week before, but you have to be very diligent. As soon as you hear of a nest that you want something from, I would say you need to go research it, confirm that it truly is a nest, and then check it out. I also did that last weekend at the Rice Lake Community Center and Pool, where I was hunting Machops. Now, being a community center and not really, looking at the map too closely beforehand, I thought there would be some walking trails or something to do while I was hunting my Machops. I read on, I think it was the Sylph Road, that somebody pulled in the parking lot, got one right away, and then caught 5 more in rapid succession. I did not quite have that experience. So when I got there, it was basically just a single building. And there is a static spawn point in the parking lot right when you enter where one Machop appears every 10 to 15 minutes. But I did not see any Machops anywhere else. I walked all the way around the building to the pool where it was closed, and there really wasn't anything else to do there except sit in the car and wait. So I caught enough Machops there to evolve my Machamp, so check that guy off my Pokedex. Alright, so I've been talking about nest shifts on October 5th. I'm going to just point out a couple of the ones that I've been able to research so far. There's a few more that I have not confirmed, and I'm probably not going to go seeking any other nests unless it's for a Pokemon that I need, which we'll talk about in a few seconds. But I do want to mention 3 of the nests that I think are most interesting. The first one being Liphold Park. And that was originally a really good Squirtle nest. It's a very large park with lots of Squirtles, fairly constantly spawning. Last month in September, that changed to Jigglypuff, but it is now rumored to be back to Charmander. So if you're missing those Charmanders from Bodie Lake, you can now go up to Crystal Lake to Liphold Park and catch them there. It is a much bigger park, and you'll have to do some driving or biking between the spawn points instead of walking, but you shouldn't have to leave your car except for if there's a Charmander by the concession stand, by the football field, or in the middle of one of the soccer fields. The rest all seem to be on the trails or the road. Bodie Lake, the aforementioned Charmander nest, which turned to a Diglett last month, has now potentially become a Clefairy nest. There seem to be a bunch of Clefairy there. I guess the total number of spawns that are there is actually increased. People are catching a bunch of different stuff, so they're not entirely sure it's Clefairy. However, I saw Clefairies on 2 occasions, so I'm pretty sure it's Clefairy nest. That's in the orange. And then the yellow one that I've got marked on here is my local Otter Creek Shopping Center, which is still a Clefairy nest. I am still catching Clefairy there every time I pass through the parking lot, which is daily. Next nest I want to talk about is, I think, a Jinx nest now, and this is Belmont Avenue. It is very close to the Otter Creek Shopping Center, and this is where I caught 3 coughings right before the nest shift, but now I believe it is a Jinx nest, and as I was traveling through there this morning, boom, on the radar was the second Grimer that I desperately needed. So now, as soon as I get a few more candy and evolve one of my Grimer into Muck, I'll still have a Grimer in my box, so I'll have one of each, which makes me extremely happy. It's been actually pretty rainy here, so I didn't do much, except I did take my dog for a walk one day at the Bowes Creek Forest Preserve. Now, this has never been a nest before. I don't think it is a nest now. If you're lucky while walking through there, you can catch a few bugs, maybe some Pidgeys. And I was actually going through there and filming a bunch of bugs, butterflies, things like that. As I was getting back in the car, suddenly a Kabuto popped up right in front of me, which I thought was an interesting coincidence. Now, with all this nest searching around, I've been holding on to Pokemon more often than evolving, and I've been really struggling and running out of room in my bag, so I decided to treat myself to a storage and a bag upgrade. It was pretty desperately needed, and I can tell you for sure that after I've done it, I definitely think it was well worth the money, because it has saved me a lot of time that I just would literally catch a Pokemon and then immediately go in and try to decide if I could release him, and if not, what else could I release, because I only had like room for 1 or 2 more Pokemon at any time. So upgraded my storage in my bags. Okay, so I am level 26 now. That was a nice accomplishment. I was not pushing for level 26, but when it happened, it still made me excited. My Pokedex is now up to 138, so that's 2 more than last time I reported, which means I only need 4 more Pokemon to complete the currently available ones. My Jogger badge in the last week has gone up 44 kilometers, which is 586 total, so steadily making my way to 1,000 there. And apparently I've hatched 45 more eggs in the last week as well. So I'm up to 282 eggs. Now, of those 45, I believe I only had 1 10K egg, and I'm currently sitting on 2 10K eggs. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for one of the 3 Pokemon that I need. From a highest CP perspective, no change in the top 3, still Arcanine, Executor, and Snorlax. However, a Nidoqueen and a Clefable, both of these were caught in the Otter Creek Shopping Center, have jumped up into the bottom 9 slot of my top 9. So some movement there. And again, none of these have been powered up. These are my highest unpowered Pokemon. I have not spent any Stardust yet. And then as far as my forecast, what I need, so I still need 3 Pokemon that I can either get out of 10K eggs or are extremely rare spawns. Hitmonlee, Lapras, and Aerodactyl. So keep your fingers crossed that the 10K eggs that I have with me right now will potentially give me one of those 3. But there are 2 Pokemon that I need actively, and one of those is a Muck. I only need 4 more Grimer candy, so I either need to walk 12 kilometers with my buddy or catch one in the wild. That's pretty exciting. I basically will have a Muck by Monday if my plan goes. It might even have it Saturday. We'll see. And then I want to evolve a Machop into a Machoke, because I had a Machoke, but he evolved into Machamp. So now I'd like another Machoke backs just to have one of each in my box. So I need 23 Machop candy for that, which is like 6 potential catches if I find a Machop nest, or 23 times 3, 60 something kilometers. So it's not a Pokemon that I need, it's a Pokemon that I want. The 4 that I need are the Hitmonlee, Lapras, Aerodactyl, and Muck. Hope you are enjoying your Pokemon Go experiences if you're still playing. And let me know in the comments if you have found any new nests in your area that got you particularly excited. Good luck!